Hey everyone, it's Keela here with another kit busting video. This time I'm working with the August 2017 Mind the Scrap kit. At the beginning of the video I showed a photo of what kit scraps I had left. This kit contained a lot of Pink Fresh Studio Dream On and some Pebbles, I think it was called Girl Squad, and also some Maggie Holmes Carousel. There is a Pebbles paper on the picture at the beginning that was actually from the July kit. When I moved house in November, as I pulled my desk out, I found it. It must have fell behind when I've been working with the kit. So I decided to add it to this one because I don't have any of the July kit left. Excuse me. So what I've done so far, I've cut out this circle. It isn't perfect, but that's fine. And I'm now going around the circle with some of my embroidery thread, because what I'm going to make is a dream catcher. I've seen lots of scrapbookers make dream catchers and I've always wanted to give it a go, and I just think the paper that I have left in this kit was perfect for making some feathers with, which I made using a die cutting machine, a die cutting machine, like the Big Shot type of thing, as I don't have like a Cameo or anything like that. So I did show a couple of stages of me making the dream catcher. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I wasn't sure whether it'd work or not, so I was thrilled once it all come together really nicely. I've got my feathers there, which you can see down, which I used one of the Pink Fresh papers to make those. It's the one with it's like birds, some hearts and coloured dots on there. The colours that I've used on the dream catcher coordinate really well with this paper as well. I'm just using some double-sided tape and just leaving the backing on to stick it on the back. Yeah, so like I said, I'm actually, this has been one of my favourite layouts to make for quite a while. I just think it turned out so pretty, and it didn't actually take that long to make either. It was just I had to do little bits here and there when the kids weren't around and things like that, just so that it was easier and I didn't have little hands trying to help. I did pull that little piece off there because once I had it all put down on the paper, it just didn't look right, did that little bit. So I'm just going to place it down now and add the feathers in to get a rough idea of how it's going to look. And like I said, those feathers look really nice. Like there is the colour yellow, which I do bring in onto the layout shortly. The photo I'm going to use today is one of my daughter Darcy. I think she was only a couple of weeks old on this photo, possibly even younger, but she looks really adorable. And we had one of the I think it was called a Poddle Pod or something like that. There was quite new out at the time, and we got it bought as a gift. I'd never have thought of buying one, but she absolutely loved it, and she slept really well in it while she was like napping and stuff. So I've got quite a few photos of her in there, but she also did like to lie in it and look around, and she could see her brother and what was going on in the room. So back my photo using some tissue paper just from my scrap box. Whenever I use tissue paper on other projects, whatever is left from the piece that I've ripped off, I just put it in my scrap box. And I always go to my scrap box first to check for for some tissue paper or some vellum and things like that to back my photos with, because I have mentioned before in previous videos, I'm not very good with paper layers. Whenever I try to do it, it just never looks right. And what I've decided to do is, I wasn't sure whether I was going to put the photo underneath the dream catcher or kind of on top of it, overlapping, and I did decide to overlap it slightly. So I attached some foam squares to the back and some tape to stick that down. But I do end up having to double up the foam because of the embroidery thread. It made it quite thick. So for it to fit on top perfectly, I needed to double up the foam on the back of the photo. I also had to use some really, really thin foam on the back of the dream catcher, because once I'd put the tape on the back, I couldn't peel it off. It just started ripping up the embroidery thread. So I found these really thin foam squares that I had works a lot better. So I'm just doubling up now the pads on the back of the photo, so it fits perfectly, just overlapping the dream catcher. Because I've used the embroidery thread to make this dream catcher, this is another layout without any hand stitching, which I surprised myself actually once I'd finished it and I'd realised that I hadn't actually done any hand stitching at all. So now the dream catcher's stuck to the page, and so is the photo. I'm now going to attach some more of the embroidery floss, excuse me, to hang my feather, I'm getting all tongue tied now, my feathers from. These, I don't even know where I got these dies from for these feathers, possibly because I never actually had a die cutting machine before. When my mum decided that she wasn't going to do card making anymore, she gave me quite a lot of her craft things, and so she gave me a little die cutting machine, a couple of dies and various other craft items. So I'm not sure, brands or where they were from or anything like that, but they were just sat in my stash, and I thought this would be a great layout to use those on. So I'm also putting foam on the back of these feathers just to create some shadow, so it does really look like that, they're hanging there. And like I said, I'm so happy with how this turned out. You know how sometimes you get a layout, the layouts that you think, oh, I quite like this, it's nice, but then you get that one where you think, oh wow, I'm really pleased with what I made. And this is actually one of those for me. Embellishment wise, I don't really use many embellishments. With what I have left in the kit, I didn't really have a lot of the embellishments left. So it's kind of trying to make do with what I've got. This is where I add some of the yellow touches. In the August kit, we got it's like a little embellishment pack, and there was like gold sequins, there were these pom-poms, there was also some, like, I think they were like adhesive star type things, which I'd used all those up, and I did have some of the pom-poms left. I've decided to go with the title XOXO because I sat there for quite a while last night when I was making this page trying to figure out a title. I did want to, decide to go with like darling or cute or just something that was quite sweet, but for every word that I could come up with, I didn't have enough of the alphas to make it. I think for the title darling, I was missing the L. I thought baby girl, but I was again missing the L and the Y, so I just thought this one, worked lovely. So I've added the pom-poms onto there now, and I had used all the gold sequins up from the kit itself. So I've gone into my April Mind the Scrap kit, and I thought, because it's still kit stash, and I've just got my May kit, so I thought, well, this is now technically a past kit. So I've got some of the sequins from there just to add some more hints of gold, and to embellish the Dreamcatcher a little bit more. So I stick those down with my I think they're called micro sticky dots. And these work really well, but I have just ordered myself some wet glue, so I'm going to see how I get on with that. I have been wanting to order some for quite a while, but I wasn't sure on, which brand was the best, or, for scrapbooking. So I've been recently watching, I think she's called Kat Martin. I've been watching a lot of her YouTube videos, and to be honest, her style is so completely different to mine. But even though I'm quite a minimal scrapbooker, and a lot of my layouts don't really have a lot of embellishments on, I still like watching other scrapbookers who have different styles to me. I don't do much mixed media, but I like watching Miss's YouTube videos. So now I've pulled in some more, kit stash in a way. These were from February's kit from, I think it's, what's the collection called? I forgot the collection's called. Oh, I forgot, but it's a Paige Evans collection. It's her newest one. Pick Me Up, that's it. And I just thought this piece was absolutely perfect. That said, keep dreaming, she's sleeping. This is a layout with a dream catcher on. It's also gold, so it brings in some more gold. So I decided to use that piece up because I couldn't really think of any other layout that I'd use it on. So this one was just so perfect for it. Also, I think it was September time, Emma had a sale on, and she had some, past kits and things in the sale, and I'd picked up the March 2017 kit, and it had these like gem type things in. So I hadn't actually used any of those. I've used a few of the papers from that kit, but I've not really used anything else. So I pulled out these because it just, in the paper as well, there was some like greeny tealy colours, and it just worked perfectly. So here is some close-ups, and thank you everyone for watching.